We're live.
Yeah.
Oh
well,
God.
We're not live. We're recording.
We're recording. No, that's good. We're only recording. That's great.
Hey, everyone. I'm Jamie Plies, and this is Larry Rivera, and we have our good friend Jason Cardamone on here. And we got together today because we want to share with you just what's going on in the world and what's on our heart and our minds and some solutions that could help a lot of you. So, Jason, welcome.
Hi, guys.
So I want to introduce Jason a little bit. I met Jason back in, I think it was 2008. And when I met Jason, I had been online marketing since 2003, 2004. And I wasn't doing too well in the world. I was looking for other like-minded people I could connect with and learn from. And I saw this really broken, grainy video from this guy over here. And everything he said he would do, help me learn how to do internet marketing, be there to support me, offer me a decent, safe team environment. He did that. And I watched this guy over the years build downlines in network marketing businesses, thousands deep. And so when we got involved working with him now, it was after Jamie and myself had already started our own company and our own business. And I had gotten cancer. And I was looking for stuff to deal with my cancer, and she was looking for stuff to help her and her child. Mm-hmm. And we found a great product that I was watching my friend here, Jason, talk about for about a year, maybe a year.
It was about a year and a half before we decided to take the plunge. And that was because we tried a lot of similar products and got no results. So we were kind of like, all right, let's see what happens. But seeing what Jason was doing and what his team was doing and seeing the success and just testimonials that were coming out of it, we're like, what do we have to lose? Let's give it a shot and a try. And we did, and we saw great results from it.
Absolutely. So that's where we are today. That's our quick elevator conversation. So what I'd like to talk about today is, holy crap, dude, look what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
As a lot of people know, we're dealing with coronavirus, COVID-19, I think it's called, right? And it looks like all around the world, it's basically shut down, right? Most people are at home. Schools have shut down. And we thought, I don't think when any of us ever got started in the online marketing world, I don't think any of us ever thought we would be in a situation where the world would just shut down.
Right.
It just shut down.
No, I know that I think at some point in time, I expected to experience this in my lifetime, but probably not this soon. I think I was a little taken back by that. There was definitely some hints and stuff like that, but I don't think it ever dawned on me, at least personally, even with what we do with Enter Shaolin, like just how pivotal all the things that we've been learning over the past, like over, a decade now, all of us on here, that how pivotal it would be to help people that never thought about doing an online business, never thought about having their own business in the first place, that are now considering, like, what can I do? Maybe they've been laid off, or they're expecting to get laid off here shortly because they're just seeing the writing on the wall. And a lot of people are scrambling to think and find solutions on how to better their lives and also how to protect their families.
I know. What do you think, Jason? What do you think's going on with all this Corona stuff?
It's crazy, unprecedented times. And the biggest thing, and even so, I'm going to directly answer. I just want to say how grateful I am to be here with you, Larry and Jamie. It's really cool what I'll share is that thinking back all the way to 2008, remembering when I was first connecting with Larry, and he was just one of the people that we had so much in common with. And I remember, late night. In fact, we'll tie into this probably later. This was in the middle of the banking recession, back when the banks imploded, 2007, 8, 9 range. And I don't think we realized at the time, I didn't, what was really happening in the greater world. I was just learning about, fiat currencies and the unsound financial policies that the world revolves around. And we won't go super deep into that stuff, but just realizing that it's been an amazing journey, and watching, when you said that, Jason, to teach me some internet marketing and this stuff. What's funny is I just started internet marketing in 2006, and I think I had applied some things, and I was able to teach it to people, which just flourishes in this type of an industry, in network marketing, doing it online. but what was cool, I remember our conversations around deep SEO strategies, search engine stuff, and like all of these giant webs of layered, like stuff that we still have rarely, like we don't teach because it's so technical and so deep.
Yeah.
But I love that stuff. And so all of you, I don't know how much you know about Larry and Jamie, but they are deeply versed around internet marketing. And I know you guys don't like brag about yourself, so I get to brag about you. And
well, thank you.
Know, like they're in you guys are in the most amazing hands with Larry and Jamie around all things. And I would say probably more important than the technical stuff, which they're experts in, is that where their heart's at. And that's what I think you guys do fully understand, is their heart to just serve and help people. And that's a big part of why we're here. So
absolutely.
Corona, COVID.
Life is hard. Life is hard for a lot of people. And I know all of us have went through different struggles. If people knew where we came from and things we had to go through to get to where we are, they would be, I don't want
that could be a whole webinar in itself. Right,
I don't want people to have to suffer. I really want to help people succeed and be successful in life in everything that they do.
Yeah. I just really to be able to help people to say yes more to their life. I think that's been always the biggest thing. Going back, Jason, I kind of met you briefly a little bit in 2009 because I was working with Larry. That's when I met him. Yeah. And then we got to work more in 2012 and 13, and now a whole lot more now in the past year. And you're right. Like I really when I think about it, it was around 2008, 2007, 2008 that I really started digging into like what's going really on behind the scenes with our country, our government, money, and all that stuff. And I won't go into all the quote unquote conspiracy theories, but I'll just say there's a lot of truth in those conspiracy theories. And I'll just leave it at that. And I think a lot of people are waking up to that and seeing the writing on the wall. But you're right. Like in 2009 and 2008, 2009, I really wasn't thinking about, we were in a recession, right? And then everything was going down. And I was just like, just doing my thing. I didn't think about the negative aspect, and I wasn't worried and I wasn't scared. And I think if the biggest thing I would like people to take away from this webinar is that you really can be in control of your life and your emotions, and you do not have to stress and worry, and you should not stress and worry. It's going to weaken your immune system. It's going to cause more stress and worry and more issues and problems in your life. And if you just have a calm, cool, collected perspective on what's going on right now and look at the opportunities that are in front of you, then you'll realize there's a lot that you can do to change what is going on in your circle of influence and beyond. And that's what's really powerful.
I want to make this comment because this has really been coming up a lot, is that things are happening in the economy and almost certain recession we're facing here. Mm-hmm. Not just the downturn lately, probably, this will be the first for some people to hear. This is probably going to get way worse before it gets better. But what I want to share is that the money doesn't just disappear. There's no money disappearing. It's just changing hands and it's going to new places. And there are solutions. And what, one of the several things that I think we're going to share today is showing you that there are solutions, and you can actually be one of the people positioned that, oh, wow, more money's flowing into my life and into my family and my household, instead of, oh, my 401k and the stocks, everything just dove and I lost my job income or it got reduced, and you only experience that part. You get to choose what part of this whole economy you're on, and money doesn't stop changing hands. It just changes, hands in a different way and goes to new places. No money's disappearing. Nobody's taking these paper things and burning them. That's not, in fact, they're hyper printing them. And so we'll talk about that.
Exactly.
Right. And it really, I think that's the biggest thing is as entrepreneurs, and some people may have never even thought of being an entrepreneur until recently, is that you do have the ability to control your own economic situation. And that is what is extremely powerful. And a lot of people don't realize in recessions and depressions, more millionaires are created. Why is that? Because when the going gets tough, the tough gets going, as the saying goes. And you have to sit back and really think, what can I do? And get more creative and be more moldable and bendable and teachable and willing to go with the flow instead of panic, freak out, and then just drown. You know what I mean? Like if you're going down in a ship, it's not the time to panic. It's the time to, start thinking, what is it that I can do in the situation? And if you're too busy panicking, you're going to drown. And we don't want anyone that's watching this or anyone that shares this to someone else to drown. We want to be able to send you guys solutions and help you guys realize that you really can be in control of what's going on in your life. You don't have to let outside circumstances destroy what you've already built or what you're going to be building.
Good stuff.
Yeah, one of the metaphors I like to think about in this is that you can either be an ostrich and bury your head in the sand. And I actually tried that theory back in 2004 and 5, and it resulted in a full bankruptcy in 2005. And that was my lesson I had to go through and the pain I had to experience to realize. By the way, that was all based on an adjustable rate mortgage, which is what caused the banking crisis. I've always been an early adopter. I was just a couple of years early than the whole banking crisis.
You were just ahead of the curve,
But I share that because I already tried the bury the head in the sand. Yeah. And that's what most people default to, is that, hey, everything's going to be great. It's going to be okay. And what Jamie, what you were just referring to is like, you have a decision. When you pull your head out, there may be some new things, and some of it you may experience as fear or a little scary, but that's just because it's out of your comfort zone.
Right.
And when you realize, all you have to do is pull your head out, even if you're just like barely peeking out at first and like kind of like, what's going on out here? It felt safer down in there. But when you do that, you open up options and choices. And that's I love that metaphor of like head in the sand, or, anything from creeping out to like just busting out like, dude, I'm seizing control of this whole thing. So anywhere on that spectrum.
Yeah, you can peek your head out, come on out, or you can just like burst out. Either one's good. Just come on out of the hole.
Exactly. And that's who we're talking to. Is anyone willing to like peaking to bursting? That's so. What do we do? Corona. I actually have all kinds. So I've been studying all this stuff. So one of my top 2 values in life are learning and grow. So learning, growing, and contributing, sharing,
Absolutely.
Teaching, inspiring, serving. And so what's interesting is I've dove really, really deep in all this Corona stuff, and I've done like way deeper than I should have. And in fact, a lot of it was me.
Guilty as charged.
So, I just share that to be like, I've gone way past just what we're seeing on the news stations, which is just, I don't even watch the news. There's a lot of misinformation, a lot of false opinions, a lot of fear mongering, a lot of sensationalism.
What's new?
Yeah, it's always been like that, but I've dove really deep into a lot of the sources and really like critical thinking, like what's behind this stuff. And so just all that is to share that like I've literally spent hundreds of hours in the past couple of weeks here. And just to give an example is that one of I happen to have a connection that worked with the World Health Organization in Iran, and they were one of the biggest places hit. Yeah. But I already knew this was a global pandemic like 12 to 14 days before it was even announced to the world. And I back then I was like, I wasn't running around talking about this, but my spouse and I are like, okay, we were already preparing to pull our kids out of school and everything before anybody even thought this is like, they were still shaking hands, hugging, doing their normal life. And I'm not sharing this to be like, oh, Jason, you're so, nothing to do with that. It has to do with like, there are people that we can model that have already seen this. They've already lived this. They already went through MERS and SARS and Black Plagues. And they've already there's entire books written about what would happen with a pandemic that would likely come out of China in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Yep.
Because it's math. And so I'm sharing that to say we don't have to be reactionary, even though that's what the world is doing. there are things in front of us and we can just read the maps that have already been written. And that applies.
History leaves clues, you know?
What's that?
I said history leaves clues.
Exactly. And what's funny is I hated history, and I got like my worst grades through high school and college were in history.
You know, I hated it too until I think it was like my 11th grade year. I had this really awesome history teacher, and he actually like how we do, like he didn't just take things for face value, what was in the book. Like he went and dug deep and really showed you what was going on. And I was like, yeah, now I'm interested in history. Let's talk. So I think it's all a matter of how it's presented. You know, if you're just looking at the glazed over, you know, nonsense version that the masses get versus what's really going on, it can be really interesting or really boring.
Yeah, totally. It's so, when you mention that, that's really, isn't it amazing how the right teacher, the right mentor can open up a door for us, even in a subject like maybe we didn't like that.
Exactly. Yep.
I think your students probably can have a lot of relation with you and Larry, and that you guys showed up in a way that they really respect and really relate to. That's pretty cool. It's also big responsibility too. So
absolutely, yes. Because in order to help them, we have to, and you know this too, you know, all the things that you said about, you know, continuing to grow and learn, and then also contributing to humanity and society. That's what we're all about. And I think that's why we all get along so well. And we keep reconnecting and stuff over the years, is because we have a similar desire to keep being our best selves, but to help other people to do the same.